What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Clayton Phillips for the $10 donation via the PayPal. Much respect to showing love. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV, aka Too Raw for Sports, and now also Too Raw Media. So I have a question from one of my subscribers, the video request. They said, if you could build your all-time NBA starting five of players from when they were in college, who would you choose? Meaning, I'm assuming he means if you saw what they did in college and projected from there, who would be my all-time starting five? Well, I would have to say it changes a bit because if you talk about if it was the NBA starting five, it would have to be Wilt, Tim Duncan. Look, I'm just gonna say it: LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. That would be my NBA all-time starting five. I had to go like by position, right? But if I'm going by college, it changes a bit because to me the most dominant collegiate player ever was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I had to put Kareem at center. Kareem, of course, man. I mean, if you look at Kareem's accomplishments. Now, keep in mind, when Kareem was playing, freshmen had to sit their freshman year. They couldn't play varsity. So his numbers would be even crazier if he was able to play all 4 years of college for the UCLA Bruins. But Kareem, of course, three-time NCAA champion, three-time NCAA Final Four Most Outstanding Player, three-time National College Player of the Year, three-time consensus first-team All-American. Number 33 retired by the UCLA Bruins. Now, these numbers would be even crazier if he was able to play. He'd be four-time everything. So that's the guy I got at center. At power forward, I have a dark horse, the Big E, Elvin Hayes. He, of course, played for the Houston Cougars. And one of the great college players of all time himself. Matter of fact, before I go forward, let me look at something right quick. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in college played in 88 games, and he averaged 26.4 points, 15.5 rebounds on 64% shooting from the floor, but only shot 63% from the free throw line. So he improved upon that in the NBA because in the NBA he was more around 72%. So he definitely improved his free throw shooting as he got older. But 26.4 points, 15.5 rebounds. You just see the individual dominance as well as the effect it had on winning. So, I want to look at Elvin Hayes and so you look at Elvin Hayes. He, of course, played in the game of the century. And this game of the century was a showdown between the Houston Cougars and the UCLA Bruins in front of almost 53,000 fans at the Houston Astrodome. This is the game in which Elvin Hayes bested Kareem. He scored 39 points and had 15 rebounds. And his defense limited Kareem, then known as Lou Alcindor, to just 15 points as Houston beat UCLA 71-69 to snap the Bruins' then 47-game win streak. And this was called the college basketball game of the century. And Hayes was the basketball player of the year for his performance against the mighty Lou Alcindor. Elvin Hayes was, as I said, the Associated Press Player of the Year, 1968 UPI Player of the Year, 1968 Sporting News Player of the Year, 1968 two-time consensus first-team All-American, number 44, retired by the Houston Cougars. 1986, he was inducted into the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and in 2023, the Houston Sports Hall of Fame. Elvin Hayes, I want to look at his college stats for a second. Elvin Hayes, in college, averaged 31 points per game and 17.2 rebounds per game. He shot in the 93 games. He shot 53.6% from the floor, but only 59% from the foul line. So he also struggled from the free throw line. But, you know, most big men in those days were not great free throw shooters anyway. A lot of them had big hands, and, you know, the mechanics didn't really allow them. Most guys with big hands, large hands, you know, long hands, they generally aren't really good free throw. You have some exceptions. They learn a technique, a process, but a lot of them aren't really good free throw shooters. But anyway, let's move on. At small forward, I gotta go with Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a one-man army for the Indiana State Sycamores. Of course, he took them to the 1979 championship game where they lost to Magic Johnson. His team lost to Magic Johnson and the Michigan State Spartans. Now, Michigan State was a more talented team. But Larry Bird took that team, put it on his back, honestly, and took them to almost the promised land. So Larry Bird was the 1979 National College Player of the Year, two-time consistent first-team All-American, third-team All-American, two-time MVC Player of the Year, and his number 33 is retired by the Indiana State Sycamores. And he was inducted to the Indiana Sports Hall of Fame back in 2020. And Larry Bird, matter of fact, to give you an idea how dominant Bird was with that team, if I remember correctly, Indiana State, the Sycamores, did not have a winning season after Bird's departure to go play in the NBA. I don't think they had a winning season until sometime in the 2000s. So that goes to show you, it was like Bird, you know, pretty much carried that team. In college, Larry Bird, despite the fact that, you know, they weren't able to win a championship, Bird played in 94 games for the Sycamores. I think they went 81-13 during his tenure there. Don't quote me on that, but I think that pops in my head for some reason. But Bird shot 53.3% from the floor, 82.2% from the free throw line, but he averaged 30.3 points, 13.3 rebounds, 4.6 assists for the Indiana Sycamores. Larry Bird before 1984-85 was a better rebounder. A lot of times he played power forward for the Boston Celtics. This was also before his back really got bad. You know, that's when he was often averaging 11, 12 rebounds in certain seasons. In some playoff series, Bird was averaging 13, 14, 15 rebounds a game. But as he got older, he started, and McHale blossomed as a player. Bird was playing small forward, so naturally he got fewer rebounds. But he still had seasons averaging 8.5, 9 rebounds a game. Finished with right around 10 rebounds per game for his career. Shooting guard, you think I'd go with Michael Jordan, right? You're wrong. If I'm going college, if I'm going by collegiate performance, I'm going to have to go with Oscar Robertson. Now, I know Oscar Robertson is considered a point guard, but I believe Oscar Robertson has the ability to play the shooting guard position. I think you could also look at Oscar as a combo guard. Even though a lot of people do look at him as a point guard, he's a guy that could do everything. So I'm going to slide Oscar to the shooting guard position for this particular video. So Oscar Robertson, of course, played for the University of Cincinnati, and for the University of Cincinnati, he was extraordinarily dominant. 2-time Helms College Player of the Year, 3-time UPI College Player of the Year, 2-time USBWA College Player of the Year, 3-time Sporting News College Player of the Year, 3-time Consensus First Team All-American, 3-time NCAA season scoring leader, 3 times First Team All-MCV, number 12 retired by the Cincinnati Bearcats, Mr. Basketball USA. Well, that's high school, actually. I shouldn't be reading that. Inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame back in 2006. And we'll look at Oscar Robertson's college stats for a second. Let me see something. Oscar Robertson in college, in 88 games, averaged 33.8 points, 15.2 rebounds, on 53.5% shooting from the floor and 78% from the free throw line. They didn't register assists, but I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar averaged a triple-double or close to. Well, I see now that he averaged probably around 7 assists per game in college. 7. That's crazy. At point guard, I've been going back and forth with this one. I've been going back and forth with this one. Should it be Magic? Or should I go Pete? And if I go Pete, I think I'd be better off having Oscar at point and switching Pete to shooting guard. I really haven't, because Magic won a championship. Magic had one of the great runs, but Pete did what he did. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got to tell you something. If I'm going by college, if I'm going by what they achieved in college, I'm going to switch something. I'm going to put Oscar to point guard and put Pete Maravich to shooting guard. I'm going to have to do that if I'm going by just college, because I can't ignore what Pete Maravich did. I can't ignore what he did in LSU, Louisiana State University. Pete Maravich, of course, still holds the record. I think a guy recently came close to it, but he still holds the record of 3,667 points in 3 years. During those 3 years, Pete Maravich averaged an incredible 43.8 points, 44.2 points, and 44.5 points per game. Altogether, he averaged 44.2 points per game in 83 contests and led the NCAA in scoring for each of his 3 seasons, and he still holds the NCAA scoring record, though there was a guy that came pretty close. I can't remember his name, but he came pretty close to breaking Pete's record. Although you have to keep in mind that he had a whole extra year to break Pete's mark. Now, my knock on Pete was the shooting percentage. Along with the 44.2 points, he also averaged 6.4 rebounds and 5.1 assists, but Pete only shot 43.8% from the floor and 77.5% from the free throw line. Pete could also turn the ball over a little bit too much, and he was a little bit inconsistent at times. But I'm thinking more about his NBA career. I don't know if he turned the ball over as much in college as he did in the pros. But anyway, when you look at Pete Maravich's accomplishments, National College Player of the Year, 1970, 2-time USBWA Player of the Year, 69-70, 3-time Consensus First Team All-American, 3 times SEC Player of the Year, 3-time NCAA Season Scoring Leader, NCAA Division I All-Time Scoring Leader. Number 23 retired by the LSU Tigers. And that's my starting 5, man. That's my starting 5. If I have to go and put like a bench starting 5, if I had to go there, then I would probably have it Wilt at center. I would go ahead and put Bill Russell as power forward. Small forward. Oh, man. Elgin Baylor. Maybe then Michael Jordan at shooting. No, if I'm going college, yeah, I'll go with Michael Jordan at shooting guard. And then Magic Johnson at point guard. I think that's what my bench would be. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this video and tell me and give me your thoughts and your opinions.